know some of you struggle with like staying focused or motivated when studying. So I'll give you some tips that help me rank in like the top, I don't know, like 90th percentile in high school and that helped me get a 4.0 at UCLA. So if you are in high school or college, or you just need general advice with studying, I'm definitely not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but with a bunch of help and the right study tips, I'm not looking at the camera yet. I was able to rank in like the top 90th percentile, like graduate summa cum laude is what it's called, in high school. And then in college at UCLA, I did get a 4.0 GPA. Mind you, I was in the humanities department. I did not do like complicated physics or anything. Okay. Yeah. All right. So time to share. Tip number 1 is if you have to study anyway, then may as well make it fun, right? So I would make everything into like a game or a story. Like for history, for instance. Yeah, so like I had a nickname in high school in my close circle of friends. I was the princess of Candyland. I guess because I don't know, I really like sweets and dessert and stuff. And then so like even for history, like if we're learning about like some revolution, then I'll draw that king or whoever as like, I don't know, like an ice cream man or something. And then like I remember like there was like one scene where like I drew him eating all the cookies, like as if he's like taking over the land and stuff. And so I just like think of creative stories like that. Whenever we're learning something on like in like biology or history or TOK, theory of knowledge, because I did IB, it's like kind of like philosophy, I guess. My friends and I would send each other Snapchat memes. Like we would like make up like something funny or like make some like interesting like metaphor. And then we just like, I don't know, draw a picture, like make a joke and send it to each other. Maybe you guys do that too in high school. I don't know. But like that's what we would do, and that's how we would like really keep studying entertaining. Even for like drier subjects like math. I don't know. Sorry if you're a fan of it. But yeah, I just like couldn't deal with it. But in middle school, first of all, like that was back then, I would like play with my stuffed animals. I would like pretend there's like a teacher, and then like the stuffed animals are answering questions, and then I would do like the math problems with them. I think I honestly did that for a little bit in high school too. It's just like anything to make it more engaging. Okay, second tip that's super important is to have a study environment in which you can maximize your concentration. This might seem very obvious, but like it's actually so important. So back in high school, I was able to focus pretty well at home, honestly, because the only thing I did at my desk was study. Like I didn't like procrastinate at my desk, right? This is kind of like, you guys probably have heard that like your brain kind of attaches certain places to certain activities, right? Like your bed is for sleeping, right? That's why you're not supposed to scroll on your phone in bed. Although I'm sure a lot of you do. And then like your desk is for studying, which is also why you shouldn't do other things like go on your phone, go on TikTok while you're at your desk. So I was very good about like making my desks only for studying. I mean, I would eat there sometimes, but I would always eat and study at the same time. That I don't recommend that because your brain does need a break. But yeah, basically like make it so that your brain associates studying with your desk or wherever you want to study. Okay. Yeah, I would study on the couch sometimes too, but like I'd always fall asleep. At least half the time, because it was like 2 a.m. And then like the other thing is like our local library, which was across from my high school, was like my sanctuary. I lived at the library. Like we would get out of school at like 3-something p.m. And then if I didn't have club activities that day, then I would just head straight to the library, whether it was by myself or with my friends. And then usually it was like just by myself. And then like in the library, there's this like quiet section where you're not really supposed to talk. So it's like, it's different from Japanese libraries because I feel like you're supposed to be like almost completely silent in Japanese libraries. But then like in the US, like, I mean, you can talk, you can like do tutoring in the libraries. Tell me if this is different in Japan. But like we always had like group work, or like there were people doing tutoring. There were always high schoolers doing group work or like studying together at tables in the middle of the library. And then in like the corner, there was this like quiet study area where you had to be completely silent. So then I was there most of the time. And then whenever I did like group work, I went outside to like the tables and stuff. Yeah, but like I was able to focus at the library from like whenever school got out, so like 3 p.m. or whatever, until 9 p.m. when the library closed. Like I would take like a short dinner. It wasn't even a dinner break. Yeah, because I would eat while I was like studying. Again, not the best idea, but like I could go on and on forever. I could literally study forever. And then I did get burned out. But I'll tell you how I took breaks in a bit. But yeah, your environment is so important for studying. Also, in terms of creating like the best study environment, definitely listen to whatever like music or ambient noise, isochronic tones, whatever helps you focus. Back in high school, I listened to a lot of classical music, like Joe Hisaishi, like Ghibli type music. Now I listen to more like ADHD focused music and tones, or like isochronic tones or binaural beats. Third is basically making your study space and also your study materials, both like the items you use and also the content aesthetic. And what I mean by that is like, I mean, obviously, like, there's a bunch of, like, fancy Instagrammers and study influencers these days, and, like, all of, like, their stationery is super cute. It's easy to do that in Japan, unlike in the US. Like, oh my gosh, if you buy, like, stationery, like, cute stationery in the US, it's so expensive. I would do it from time to time. I would go to Uwajimaya because I lived in Seattle. Buy all your stuff in Japan. You guys are lucky here. Anyways, obviously make your stationery and, like, your notebooks and everything, like, cute or cool or like whatever style you like, because like it really does like increase your motivation. And then in terms of your study like materials, notes and stuff, this is kind of controversial. Like I think some people would argue that if you like take too much time to color code everything and make everything look pretty, then like it's going to take away valuable time that you could use to actually acquire that material and like absorb it. But honestly, for me, it just like increased my motivation to actually study when everything looked pretty. Because I would have like my messy class notes. Actually, I wish I was like back home so I could show you, but I'm not. So I can show you like my Wasuda notes from when I was studying in Japan. They're so disgusting though, like my handwriting. But you can see how I like color code, right? Like I use red, blue, and black, maybe sometimes pink. If I want to write something somewhat important. Usually just 3 colors is enough for like in-class notes, and I like to make my mind maps and like diagrams and everything prettier if I'm like reviewing it. And then this is not part of the third point. I feel like just like in terms of organizing your notes, like the brain likes to remember information if you have it in like kind of different shapes or formats. For class notes, for example, there's like the Cornell note-taking method, or you can just take notes like I did. Yeah, nowadays there's like AI tools that'll help you take notes in class if your teacher allows it in high school. In university, it should be fine for the most part. But like always review, and like I prefer both handwriting and typing out my notes. I would make study guides. I would type everything out. And then for the things I wanted to remember, like for the things that I wanted to actually like stick in my brain, I would make mind maps, or I would make like charts, change up the format so that your brain registers it over and over again. And then like it's said that it takes about 7 repetitions to remember a piece of information. As you grow older, I think you're going to have to increase the frequency of this like repetition. But yeah, so repetition is key, you guys. Spaced repetition especially. Look it up if you don't know what that is, but that is key. That saved me. Like that got me through IB. IB like is so tough because you have to remember 2 years of material and take the test at the end. But I got started early. Like I'm talking about like other things now. But like yeah, another thing is like study techniques and like when to study, right? The fourth point would be organize your study schedule too. Why does everyone still cram for tests? Like, don't do that. I usually study for tests, or at least begin preparing my study guide for tests, honestly, as soon as we start that unit. Because then I have a study guide going and I don't have to sort through all the information from the beginning again. And so that means I usually prepare for exams 2 weeks in advance because I'm constantly reviewing. So I did do a lot of studying, and I feel like I did a lot more studying than my peers, both in high school and in university. So it really depends. I was not the brightest student, but I did manage to get good grades. Choose the method that works for you. But also just remember, grades aren't everything. Don't try to get a perfect 100% or A+ on everything, as long as you get a good enough, right? If you're already at the 93% or A mark, you don't need to be trying to get 100% or anything. So do not strive for perfection. It will destroy you like it destroyed me. Honestly, this is also super obvious, but eat healthy, maintain a healthy lifestyle, because obviously, you need to be eating brain foods. Superfoods are gonna help you concentrate better, especially if you are a sleep-deprived high school or college student. I was eating so healthy. I was not getting enough sleep. Obviously, would not recommend that either. I think that my friends who were getting 7-8 hours of sleep in high school, compared to me getting 2 to 4 hours probably on average, were doing just as well. And that's probably because you need to sleep in order to retain information, right? You got to process that information while you sleep. So definitely get more sleep than I did. And then eat healthy. I ate black sesame seed paste toast in the morning. I couldn't eat Japanese foods. I could not do natto in the morning. Now I do. That's a recent thing for me. But as a student, no, I could not. I would go for cereal any day over rice and natto and stuff. But I didn't do that in high school. I was much healthier. Luckily, I usually ate fruit and I was all very balanced. Yeah, so really appreciate my mom. I was very lucky. So hopefully you have some sort of method to get some nutrient-rich foods in your system. Yeah, I was super healthy in college too, because at UCLA, we have B plate, Bruin plate, which is a healthy and top quality dining hall. So brain and body were always quite satisfied, I feel like. In high school and college too, sometimes I feel a lot of people just study for the sake of getting good grades, and I did that too. I was I'm never gonna use this information anyway. Why do I need to study all this? But I do need to get a 4.0. I need to get a good grade to get into a good college. I was obsessing over that, you guys might be too. But honestly, you can learn so much better if you study for the sake of learning, right? Then that's why I've been stressing from the beginning. You got to try to make it interesting, right? Because if you're not interested in it, then it's torture to study. High school overall was very tough for me, especially doing IB and extracurriculars and stuff too, it is for everyone. But find the fun in it. If you can't, let me know in the comments. Let's figure out how to make studying fun together if these tips didn't work for you. If you're working this hard, you don't want to waste away 12 years of your life if you're not going to use any of that information, right? At least be able to recall something, some cool fact that you learned, right? So that you don't feel you wasted anything. I mean, at least you'll develop critical thinking skills and study skills. That'll always be useful. Okay. Yes, but again, there are various learning styles. Everyone has a different method that works for them. So please feel free to share your study tips so that we can all learn and grow together. Okay, that was a super duper long video of me talking gibberish about study tips. But yes, shorter version is in my shorts. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and please give me a like and follow if it was helpful at all, and then let me know if there are any other videos that you want me to do, whether it's about study abroad or study tips or college or I don't know. Anyways, bye! Thanks guys!